Hi everyone, welcome back to my lab and today's video, which is going to be my very first version of a Will I Buy It video. Credit for this idea, of course, goes to Samantha March. I will leave her channel linked in the description box down below, but I'm sure you're all following her already. So almost exactly 1 year ago, I asked you all in my community tab if you would be interested in me sharing my version of this kind of video with you, and 87% of you said yes, so hopefully you still feel the same. And I know, I'm very late in delivering. I'm the worst YouTuber ever. I'm gonna call my version must or bust, and hopefully I'm not dating myself using that terminology. Now, without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into the video. I have three main sources for my new makeup releases sneak peeks. They are Trend Mood 1, Hot Fire Makeup, as well as Makeup Crazy on Instagram. So I will leave all their handles on the screen in case you're not following any of them. Makeup Crazy is especially a good account to follow if you're trying to be on a low buy, because she discourages overspending on makeup and things like that, but she still does discuss new releases. So those are my three sources. If you're not following them already, you might want to check them out. So like I said, this is my first time sharing this kind of video. I'm not exactly sure how many items I should talk about, so let me know if there's kind of a sweet spot for how long these videos should be. If you want to tag me on anything on Instagram to let me know you'd like to see that item featured on this kind of video, I'm gonna leave my handle right here, and I always have it in the description box as well. So let's start. I have my phone here because I took screenshots of the items that I wanted to talk about, and the day that I'm filming this is the day that the Jeffree Star new cremated collection launched. So we'll go ahead and start with that. For me, for now, this is going to be a bust. I have purchased and owned all of Jeffree Star's eyeshadow palettes. I really enjoy the formula and I like the unique color stories. One of my favorite palettes ever is the Jawbreaker palette, and when I saw this palette, I thought initially I was gonna buy it. I was on the website during the launch. I was able to get in the queue and I was ready to check out, but with shipping and everything else, the total was gonna be $75. And to be honest, this is an all cool tone palette. I don't wear cool tones very often. I intentionally put on cool tones today to remind me how uncomfortable they make me and how they just don't come naturally to me. So I figured I can very easily pick up this palette during a re-release or a future launch, especially in a time where money is so tight. Now, with regard to the controversy, because when Jeffree Star is concerned, there's always a controversy, I guess. I don't personally think that the theme of the collection had anything to do with what's going on in the world right now. I think the timing was just really unfortunate, and so that's not really the basis for me not purchasing the collection itself. It's just my opinion. I don't know how to manufacture makeup, but my guess is that he had been working on this collection far before any of these things transpired, and I don't think it meant any offense. It would be a really poor business move to scoff at something so serious, if you know what I mean. So I don't think that it was intentional. I just think it was a case of ill timing and he just went ahead with it. I think it's a pretty palette. I think it's gonna definitely suit some people that are very comfortable with cool tones, but that's just not me. So I actually elected to pass on this palette. But I'm very curious to look at the reviews and see what people are thinking of them, because I especially like the way that those metallic shadows looked. I saw Nikki Tutorial's review video and they just looked really beautiful and really unique. But for now, it's a pass. Another thing that was sneak peeked just today was the Urban Decay Cosmetics new Naked Ultraviolet eyeshadow palette. Now, I have to say that for the present time, I do have all of the Naked palettes that were ever made. I don't have all of Urban Decay's palettes, but I do have a lot of them. I have a lot of the Vice palettes. I have a lot of the limited edition palettes as well, but I do have all the Naked palettes, and I haven't quite broken myself of the completionist idea yet. But looking at this palette, I know that this isn't something that I'm gonna run out and buy either, so for me, it's gonna be a bust, although it looks very pretty. The title of this palette, Ultraviolet eyeshadow. I actually have a palette by Bobbi Brown Cosmetics that's called Ultraviolet, so the name's been used before, but I mean, it's not anything that original. And looking at the color story for this palette, it's really truly half neutrals and a few purple tones. And purple tones have a tendency to be quite difficult to manufacture, and so I'm not quite sure how it's going to be in the Urban Decay formula. Reminds me a lot of the types of shades that were in the Alice, I think it was Alice Through the Looking Glass collection. So for now, this is going to be a pass, although the collector in me will probably eventually buy it at some point. Next, we have a collection by Lunar Beauty, and this was the Moon Prism collection, which included a blush palette and 3 lip glosses. I've mentioned those lip glosses on my channel here before. They are my favorite lip glosses. You know, to be perfectly honest, and this surprises me, I've tried at least one item from each of the specific categories that Lunar Beauty offers, and I have liked all of them. That is one brand that I can't think of of a product that I didn't enjoy. And so when I saw that he was releasing blushes, I figured why not? The highlighters are really beautiful and I do enjoy his eyeshadow formula as well. But those glosses, I knew I was gonna have to get those glosses. So this collection for me was a must and I did order it and it's on the way to me. So let me know if you're interested in seeing a review on that. I can do a lip swatch video with the glosses or something like that and then show you how the blushes perform. So for me, that's a definite must. I'm really excited about that one. Now we have another release from Haus Labs, which is Lady Gaga's brand, or the brand of which she is the spokesperson, or you know, the face of the brand. And this one is called the Stupid Love eyeshadow palette. It's nice that this one has a direct connection to Lady Gaga as opposed to the other products that she launched in her line before. But to be honest, this looks to me like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of the Stilazzi palettes in the layout, that it has 18 shades. It really looks a lot like the Jordan Liberty palette that I reviewed, and here we have half blue tones and a couple of neutrals. And to be honest, I have the Blue Blood palette and I have the ColourPop blue palettes, I have the Huda Beauty blue palette, so I have a lot of blue eyeshadow already, and this for me is going to be a bust. I don't see myself purchasing this palette even later on, even if it goes on sale. I haven't tried anything from Haus Labs. I've heard that the eyeliners are quite nice, but honestly nothing from the brand has called to me just yet, and this palette is no different. It's definitely a pass. Bronzer Palooza continues with Charlotte Tilbury. She just recently released her airbrush bronzer collection. There's 4 bronzers in the line and they're supposed to be like the flawless finish powder. I love that powder. It is so beautiful. I really love that powder. And I really love Charlotte Tilbury as a brand, so this is something I've actually already ordered. So this is a must for me as well. It's on its way to me. I don't have Shop Runner or anything like that, but it should be here in a couple days. So if you're interested in seeing a review on this one, I definitely could do that. I could compare it to all the other bronzers I've been buying lately. It's summertime, it's the season, right, for bronzing. I just am very curious about the formula. There's not a lot of products from Charlotte Tilbury that I can say that I haven't been impressed by. She's one of my favorite luxury makeup brands, and so I'm very excited to get my hands on that bronzer. I selected the medium shade, so hopefully it's gonna be the right shade for me. Next, I wanted to talk about the new addition to the Norvina collection. This is the Volume 4 palette, and this is a pressed pigment palette, so it's not the traditional Anastasia formula, as you probably already know. And I mentioned this palette during I think it was my BoxyCharm unboxing video. I was wearing Volume 3 that day because I knew that this was launching and I was trying to keep myself from purchasing. Now, I highly suspect that I will be able to get this palette on sale at a later time. As a matter of fact, one of the earlier volumes from this collection was on sale at Sephora not that long ago, and also on the Anastasia website. They have frequent enough sales that I think I can get it for a better price, because this one retails for about $60, I believe. And I mean, it looks beautiful. I love working with this formula. You do have to work with it a little bit differently since they are pressed pigments, but I've kind of gotten accustomed to it and I really enjoy the formula. I like the color story. I think the palette looks really, really pretty, and eventually I'm gonna have that one too, but not right now. Next up is Pat McGrath with the new Mothership version 8. This is the Divine Rose 2 Artistry palette, and this one is going to retail for $125. I've heard that this is going to launch on her website at the end of this month. I'm ready. I am so ready. Now, I was able to snag one of the Sephora rewards cards from the Rewards Bazaar. I got really lucky one day, and so I have a $100 gift card to Sephora, and I was thinking, oh, I can put that towards my Pat McGrath palette when it launches because it's already on the Sephora website. But then I saw that Pat McGrath is doing a limited edition pink packaging. And of course, I need the limited edition pink packaging. I mean, you just have to, right? So in all likelihood, I'm going to order this palette from the Pat McGrath website. I will, of course, review it on my channel. I've reviewed a lot of Pat McGrath releases on my channels, and this one will be no different, providing I can get my hands on it, because that last Divine Rose palette, even though I was able to get my hands on it, it caused quite a stir. So I'm hoping with this one, there's going to be more stock and availability, because I know that, at least here on my channel, those of you watching, you love Pat McGrath shadows as much as I do, and so I have a feeling we're all going to be going after that one. Next up is something from Juvia's Place that's available now, and this is going to be the Wahala eyeshadow palette, and I think Wahala is supposed to translate to drama, and this is a very bright palette for Juvia's Place. The last few palettes that they've done since the Tribe palette have been a little bit more neutral, which is fine. Their formula is really nice. I prefer their metallics to their mattes. Their mattes are a little bit, I don't want to say powdery, but they're a little bit more chalky depending on the color. You can definitely work with them. I love the Tribe palette. It's one of my favorite palettes as well because I love greens. But right now, I've kind of tried to slow my roll with the idea of being a completionist. I did not purchase the mini Juvia's Place palettes, and I think there might have been one more that launched since then. I didn't purchase that, and so with this one, Juvia's Place is another brand that frequently goes on sale. They have a lot of sales on their website, and also they're available on Ulta Beauty. Sometimes it takes a while for the products to get to Ulta Beauty, but then you can use non-prestige coupons and things like that, so I know if I wait, I can get a better deal on this one later on. And with regard to this color story, there's like basically like 3 columns, it looks to me. There's a purple column, which it looks very much like the Ultraviolet palette I was talking about from Bobbi Brown. There's a neutral column, which we all have like 1,000 times over. There's a more green column, which I definitely own because I love green eyeshadow, a more red section, and then a blue one. So I think just in all of the monochromatic palettes that I have, as well as just all the palettes that I have in general, I'm gonna have these shades, and so I'm gonna pass on this one for now. Let's talk about a product from Hank & Henry. I saw these Luster Dew loose highlighters, which are available for pre-sale right now. I'm not exactly sure when they're going to launch. I'll leave all the products linked in the description box down below in case you want to check out any of these for yourselves. But supposedly this is a pre-sale, and they're 3 highlighters. Hank & Henry is another brand I've not tried anything from. I have a feeling that I have an eyeliner from the brand that I received in a BoxyCharm, but I have a lot of eyeliners kind of on backup, and I haven't gotten a chance to use it. And I did recently purchase one of the Hank & Henry eyeshadow palettes from the Boxy pop-up shop that they had a couple of days ago. So I have that coming, and I like loose highlighters, but I have a lot of highlighters right now. So for me, for now, this is a pass. I was very interested in their brush collection, but it's totally sold out, and that was some time ago. I haven't seen it come back in stock, but that was something I was really curious about. So for now, the highlighters are going to be a bust. The Pride collections are starting to come in, and this one is one by Morphe. I did purchase part of the Pride collection last year. I purchased the brush set, and it was okay. It was an okay brush set. Honestly, I thought that Morphe's regular brushes were a little bit better than the ones that I got in the set, but still, I mean, they were usable and not bad, and just a nice little commemorative little set of brushes to have. This collection is gonna have brushes, looks like a gloss, an eyeshadow palette, and their setting mist. And I think that it's a nice collection, but I think it's typical Morphe, and I'm going to pass on this one. But just looking at the Pride collection makes me so sad thinking about missing out on the Pride events here in Chicago. In Chicago, we have 2 major Pride events. One is called Pride Fest, and the other one is the Pride Parade in general, and I love going to those events so much, and this year it's probably not going to happen, and it makes me really sad. Today I got an email from Sol de Janeiro that they were sneak peeking their Bum Bum body scrub. I love the Bum Bum cream. I love the shower gel. I love the lip balm. I'm not so much of a fan of the body mist because it doesn't last on me that long, but I do love the 3 products that I mentioned, and I like the glow oils as well. I've been wanting to try the perfume, but it's a little bit pricey, so it's still on my Sephora Loves list, and now they have the body scrub. Now I have the other scrub that comes kind of in a tube, and I wonder if that might be the same thing or if this is something different. I purchased that one in a BoxyCharm pop-up event as well, and I haven't gotten around to using it, so I think I better use that one before I think about adding something else to my collection. So for now, this one is going to be a bust. Bronzer Palooza continues with Iconic London, and this is a set of 4 bronzers, and the packaging looks really beautiful. This is from Iconic London, and Iconic London is not a brand that I own a lot from. I have a couple of items that I have received in subscription boxes or purchased again in Boxy pop-up events. And it's strange, but I know there was a little bit of controversy with regard to where the palettes were manufactured, that the palettes that they sell on their own website or on Morphe or on Ulta are manufactured somewhere, and then the ones that they were giving to BoxyCharm were in PRC or something like that. It's just something a little bit strange. I've seen Desi Perkins use eyeshadows from this brand on her channel maybe within the last year or so, but it's not a brand that I hear a lot about. And then just looking at these shades, they're really, really light. I think that they could have improved improved on the shade range for sure if they were gonna launch 4 different shades. I mean, it basically looks to me like it's 2 different shades, or perhaps it's going to be like a matte version and a shimmery version and it's really just 2 different shades. I'm not sure, but I know this brand is quite pricey and this is going to be a bust. As much as I'm into bronzers right now, this is something I'd have to see in person, and for now, that's not really possible. Moving right along, a new collection from Marc Jacobs Beauty. I really enjoy Marc Jacobs Beauty as a brand. I like their eyeshadows. I love their blushes, and I think they're discontinuing them. They're such beautiful blushes. Why? Their highlighter drops, the dewdrops, delicious. I really like the brand. Their lip products are beautiful as well. Really enjoy the brand, but this collection looks very bronzy, very fall inspired, and really just a lot of neutrals. So it's not necessarily something that is really attracting me at this point. There is going to be a new mascara, which is going to be in a version of the Trend Mood box, and I might honestly try to grab it in the box instead of purchasing it alone. The eyeliners look very, very pretty, but I have metallic eyeliners kind of like this from the Linda Hallberg collection, and I have a few from MAC as well. And then these twist up ones, as much as I love them and as beautiful as they are initially, they don't keep too well in your collection. They dry out quite a bit. So I've been leaning towards more sharpenable pencils because you can keep them longer. So this is a bust for me as well. As much as I love Marc Jacobs Beauty, but this one's not for me. Next, we have a new launch from Huda Beauty, and this is, speaking of mascaras, it's going to be a mascara, and this one's called Legit Lashes, and it's a nice concept. It's a dual-sided mascara. I think Tarte has a version like that where it has a dual-sided mascara where the wand on one side is more for your upper lashes and the one on the other side is more for your lower lashes. And this one's a little bit different because it looks like they're just 2 different wand styles to create 2 different eye looks, and I think that's a clever idea. It's nice for something if you're traveling and you like different finishes with your mascara. For instance, when I know I'm gonna wear false lashes, I use a totally different mascara than when I'm just wearing mascara alone. So I think it's a good idea. It's fine, but it's not necessarily something I'm gonna run out and get, especially considering I have so many mascaras in my collection right now. I don't need it. Sigma Beauty has a new collection, and this is the Rose Iconic Brush Set. Now this is just a collection of their existing brushes in a different finish, and you know, to be 100% honest with you, Sigma brushes are not my favorite. I think they're okay, but I think they're just okay, and I think that they're quite highly priced as well. You can always get a discount on these things with codes or sales or this or that. I wish sometimes that these stores would just put the actual price on the thing so we know how much they're asking, and then we know if we can make a decision or not based on that. As much as I love brushes, Sigma Beauty brushes just don't have my heart, so this is a bust. Next, we have a collection by Bobbi Brown, and it looks like a summer collection. It's called the Summer Glow Collection, and you know, I have to say, Bobbi Brown is not the most exciting brand, but it is a really reliable brand. Every product I've tried from them has been really, really good. The highlighters are good, the lip products are good, the complexion products are good, the shade range is super inclusive. I honestly think that this brand doesn't get enough love. Right now that we're talking about bronzer palooza and all these brands coming up with so many different bronzers, Bobbi Brown has had those for ages, and I just don't think that they get enough credit. They're just not that popular of a brand. Now, that being said, this collection doesn't really call out to me. It has a couple of products that are existing to their line that are just in new shades, like the highlighters. I have some of those in my collections. They're very pretty. What interests me the most is the brush, of course, and I might be able to grab that one if I'm ever placing an order from this website. But you know, the thing is that Bobbi Brown, I have found at a CCO near me. Who knows when I can visit the CCO again, but I have found a CCO near me that carries a lot of Bobbi Brown products, and I bought almost an entire Bobbi Brown brush set at like 75% off. Can't beat that. And this brush might end up there too, so I may be able to wait. It looks like a very pretty minimal makeup summer kind of look, just not for me at this time, but I did want to give a little bit of credit to the brand because I don't think they get enough credit for what they do. Let's move on to Guerlain and their summer collection, which is called Brazilian Club. Now it includes limited edition packaging of the Guerlain Meteorites and a bronzer blush kind of combined hybrid product. Very pretty collection. Guerlain's limited edition collections always are. But I have to say I have 2 containers liners of my Guerlain Meteorites. I love them. I use them almost every single day as a finishing powder. I really do love them. I don't need another set. They last quite a long time, and so I don't want to over purchase just because of the pretty packaging. And besides, if you all were paying attention to my community tab, you know that I did pick up something from the summer collection, which was the Meteorites highlighter palette. I'm silly because I had seen that on the Sephora website. I put it in my loves list. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I think it's so pretty. I think it's really special. And it is. I mean, they haven't done a highlighter palette like this. They had that purple pink one that was a duo, but they haven't had a trio like this, and it looks so pretty. And I was watching it on Sephora and then it sold out. And then I was watching it on Feel Unique and then it sold out. And then I became obsessed and I was watching the internet every single day, Googling and trying to see when it would become available elsewhere. I was trying to be patient because being a summer collection, I knew that some of their other stockists hadn't received it yet. I hadn't seen it on Selfridges, hadn't seen it on Nordstrom, hadn't seen it on Bergdorf's, like I hadn't seen it on any of those. And so I just kept Googling, and the only one that popped up was eBay, someone in Russia wanting to overcharge for the palette, and then you wouldn't get it for like a month either. And I was like, no, just sit tight. And then eventually I found it and I shared it on my community tab. I was so excited. I figure I can't be the only one that's waiting for that one. So it's on its way to me. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to receive it, but I will have a review coming up on that one. I think it's so beautiful. I'm so excited about that one. Next, there's a summer collection of nail polishes by Essie, and these are inspired by the bustling bazaars of Morocco. And ordinarily I wouldn't pay attention to nail polish because I would get my nails professionally done. And we know that there's been a little bit of a pause on that. I've been doing my own nails, and actually I'm wearing one of those polishes on my nails right now. I have the one, this one is called Bustling Bazaar. It's the blue one, obviously, and I really like it. I think it looks pretty. It's looking a little bit green on camera. Looks a little bit green in person too, like a turquoise aqua color. It's really, really pretty. I love Essie nail polishes quite a bit because of the brush. I think that since the brush is a little bit wider, you can really get that nice line over by the cuticles, and the polish lasts a lot longer than other polishes that I've had in my collection. And so I did purchase something from that line, and that's your mini review, and that's what it looks like. I think it's really pretty, and I like that peachy one and I like that gold one as well, but I need to slow down as well because I am optimistic I will be able to get my nails done again really soon. Next, we have something by MAC, and MAC is another brand that I really love MAC. There's a couple of products that I absolutely love by them. The chromographic eye pencils, beautiful, beautiful. You want a yellow that will stay in your waterline. Anytime I'm wearing yellow in my waterline, MAC chromographic eye pencil in primary yellow. It's stunning, beautiful. I also love the Face and Body Foundation, one of my top favorite foundations for sure. The Next to Nothing powder, beautiful powder. Their highlighters, gorgeous. But this collection, I don't know about their limited edition stuff anymore. Like, this is the collection that is in collaboration with Honor of Kings, and to be perfectly honest, I don't know what that is, but it looks like anime characters to me. And it also looks like the colors are really just, you know, re-promoted shades in their line already, because I recognize some of these shades. And yes, they look pretty when grouped together this way, but when you really critically look at those products, I mean, even the highlighter is a re-promoted thing, and so this is a bust. MAC, you can do better. One thing that kind of really has my attention, and even more so because I saw it on Teresa Is Dead's channel, this is the Chantecaille Summer 2020 collection, and it includes a couple of blush highlighter duos and 4 lip products, and there's always a charity component along with the brand Chantecaille, which I think is really great, but it also comes with a very, very high price tag. And what interests me the most is the blush highlighter duo with the shark on it. I love sharks so much. I love everything having to do with the ocean, but I really, really love sharks. And it's funny because Teresa Is Dead was saying the same thing. So the manta ray would suit my skin tone a little bit better, I think, but I want the one with the shark packaging. $84. I've already signed up to the Chantecaille website. I wasn't signed up for their email, so they sent me, like, I think it's a 15% off discount. And when a product is $84, 15% is a good amount, right? That's what I'm telling myself. This is one thing I haven't bought that's really, really, really tempting me. I think it's so beautiful, so stunning. Everything else is a pass, but that shark palette, I want that. Something else that was sneak peek today was by Charlotte Tilbury, and I already gave you the spiel about how I feel about Charlotte Tilbury, but these are new lipsticks, and they are called the Love Filter lipsticks, and they look like beautiful, deep rose shades. They look really, really pretty. And these are going to be available on June 4th, so pretty soon. I'm not necessarily gonna run out and buy these right away because I don't need any more lip products. Goodness help me, I don't need any more lip products. But these look awfully pretty. For now, it's a pass, but I'm not gonna forget about those. Yeah, I won't be forgetting about those anytime soon. They're really pretty. And last but not least is the the fall collection for Chanel, which looks like it's going to be focused on reds and berries. So I'm seeing 2 eyeshadow quads and 2 liquid lipsticks. Very pretty shades. I like the vibe of these. I actually recently bought, I think it was my first Chanel quad. Yeah, I have a Chanel blush, I have a couple of other Chanel products, but not too many. I bought one of the holiday quads, the one that looks like buttons, and I haven't worn it yet. I want to wear that and see if the quads are really worth the hype. These look super pretty because they're like peachy red tones, and I'm always really attracted to those. So they look super pretty, but for now it's a pass. And goodness, who knows when these are going to be available anyway. These are a fall collection and I don't really have any other information other than that and the picture, so keep an eye out for that from Chanel. So those are all the products that I wanted to chat with you about today. Let me know what you thought about my first, must or bust kind of video, and if you'd like to hear my thoughts on any other products that you see sneak peek, then make sure and tag me on Instagram so I can see and I can screen grab the picture and chat about it with you. I would love to know what you thought about the new makeup releases and what you have your eye on. There was a little bit of a slowdown on the new releases there for a little bit, but I think they're coming up fast and furious now, so we'll see what comes up. I hope you enjoyed this video, and better late than never. So if you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up for me. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. I hope you're doing really well, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon on the next one. Bye-bye.